up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, along with the lovely
Tiftastic.
And of course today,
Landon Calrissian
and guess what, folks? Spider-Man
is
back where he belongs in the
Heck
MCU.
yeah.
That's right. It's a great day to be a nerd. And of course, that is what the Poindexter Lounge is. Welcome to the Poindexter Lounge. We are so glad to have you. If this is your first time to the lounge, just know this. The Poindexter Lounge is
A place for nerds.
That's right. It's a place where you and me and my family can sit and talk about all the awesome things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, comic books, superheroes, toys,
If it's
and
nerdy,
so much
we
more.
like it.
That's right. If it's nerdy, we cover it. And if that sounds like something that you would like to be a part of, please consider becoming part of this growing community. All right? Now, today,
Yes.
we are talking about something. Now, Tiffany and I went away for a couple of days. We were away in a place where there was no internet. It was awful. But
We were near the tip of Michigan here, how we can use our hand as our state.
yes,
So we didn't have a lot of internet.
not a lot of internet. Just enough to get stories, you know, but we couldn't upload anything. We couldn't upload anything up. But here's the thing. Lots of news broke while we were gone, including on the way home when we saw that Spider-Man is back in the MCU where he belongs. This has been a long, draining process for
It
us
has.
fans. How have you felt about Spider-Man being taken out of the MCU?
Spider-Man was always a little bit lower on the totem pole of my favorites, but I still always loved him, always watched the movies, watched everything that came out. But it's just one of those things that it's been an emotional roller coaster because it was like, okay, he's in, he's out, they're not going to renew. It's just been this up and down and this back and forth of, okay, can I get excited? Okay, is he out? How are we going to do that? Okay, it's been going back and forth, and so to know that he's finally back, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, so I want to see more of what they're gonna do for these movies. I want to see a movie with Venom and him together, so it's like they've got to, just kind of pick up, and I want to see what happens with him and Mary Jane. So I'm excited that we're getting him back and that we can continue these stories on because I love his storylines.
Yeah, Landon, how did you feel when you heard that Spider-Man was going to be out of the MCU?
When I heard Spider-Man was gonna be out of the MCU, I thought, I wasn't happy about it, but I was okay with it
Yeah.
because I think they tried too much, at the end of Endgame when Tony died. I think they tried too much, to make him feel all emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it hadn't really earned it.
Yeah, it hadn't really earned it because he only had one major movie, and then in the second one, it explained a little bit more, but it wasn't all there. But I think now with Disney getting back Spider-Man partially, Sony and Disney are still in an agreement where they can agree on something, and then they could put it in the MCU. So what if they had Venom in the MCU?
Well, we're going to talk about that. So
The one thing with the story, though, with Tony and with Tom Holland, though, is just watching a little bit of Homecoming. I mean, you see where he's got a soft spot for him as this kid. He likes his aunt. He thinks she's cute, but also it's the fact that, even the little things, like when he's in the car and explaining, that we're going to contact you, and he's going around him to reach to open the door, and he's looking at him like, are we hugging? And no, we're not that close yet. But so it's like you're kind of seeing this foreshadowing of this relationship that they have, like a father-son thing going on.
and they kind of use Tony to kind of replace the Uncle Ben relationship, which I still don't know how I really feel about that. So
that's how they were trying to kind of get you in the feels and putting that connection together.
Yeah. So the thing is that we all know that Spider-Man was taken out of the MCU about a month ago now, when Sony and Disney's agreement came to an end that saw Spider-Man in the MCU there for a few films. Yeah, obviously he had his 2 solo films.
Yes.
He was in Civil War. Yeah. He was in Endgame and Infinity War. And so he was still in 5 movies.
Yeah.
So even though it seems like he was only in a couple of movies, he was in 5 movies, Two full-length movies that were his, and then cameos, 3 kind of cameo guest starring roles in there. Now, that being said, I was very vocal about this because I feel that a lot of people's anger, so to speak, was misplaced, because I think a lot of people were angry at Sony, thinking that Sony was just trying to take, their ball and run home. But really, if you look at everything, you see that Disney was asking for stuff that no company could really just go, okay, yes, we'll have you finance these movies for half, so that you can get half the returns on it. A company can't really do that, because once you start doing that, that means that Disney would have had creative control then, because they would be paying for it. Whoever pays for the movie is controlling the creativity of it and has creative rights then to it. So Disney was kind of trying to do this backdoor deal kind of thing where they didn't own Spider-Man, but they figured, hey, if we can get 50-50, then basically that gets our foot in the door where we can control Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's and hey, you can't blame Disney for trying. But the reality is that Sony could not agree to that deal. There's just no way. The executive from Sony that said yes, we're going to agree to that deal probably wouldn't have had a job after that. So I get it. That being said, Sony, they did in a sense take their ball and walk home, and I didn't like the things that I saw out of Sony saying that basically we don't need Disney, we can just do our own Spider-Man thing, downplaying Disney's role. Well,
and then they said that they would sell Spider-Man to them for $4 billion.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was something like 10. It was like $10 billion or something like that. And I don't even know if that was real.
It reminded me of two little kids fighting me, yeah, you want Spider-Man? Fine, get it for $4 billion.
Yeah,
it was a kind of a.
And I don't even know if
fight.
that report was actually real
or accurate.
And then of course there was all these rumors of that Disney was just doing this as a ploy because they think that Apple is going to buy Sony at some point, and if Apple buys Sony, then Disney actually gets Spider-Man back for free, because the contract is written that if Sony, being the owner of the Spider-Man movie rights, gets sold out, those rights don't transfer to another company. So Disney would automatically get them back for free. Marvel would get them back for free. Who knows what all that stuff is about? All I know is this. With this deal now, we're getting one more Spider-Man movie that is going to be overseen by Marvel at Disney. So the next Spider-Man movie will not go off on some weird tangent. It will be within the universe that we've seen with the first two Spider-Man movies. Also, he will be in at least one more MCU movie, so they can use him in the next Avengers movie if they want, or if they have something else that they need him for Phase 4.
True.
He'll still be around, and that's a good thing, because really they placed a lot, Landon, I think you kind of alluded to it, they placed a lot on Spider-Man after the death of Tony Stark. He's got the glasses, and that was a whole huge part of Homecoming, or of Far From Home, was it was kind of like him getting the mantle passed to him of Iron Man. How do you make? He
wasn't really ready for, and he was still mourning him.
Yeah, so I mean, how do you make a character like that the main focus of your franchise, and then you can't even have him in that franchise? That's a problem.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to make Spider-Man Iron Man. It felt like that in Far From Home.
Well, they were. That's what they were trying to do. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to pass. That's what I was saying. They were trying to pass the baton to Spider-Man, but you can't do that if he's not going to be around. I mean, that's the last thing that Happy Hogan says to Peter. He says the reason why he gave all this stuff to you is because he knew you were going to be here. Kind of ironic if he wasn't going to be there. I don't think that it was a ploy. I don't think that this was a bunch of BS trying to, get everybody riled up.
And there's another thing that...
Like I've seen some people try to report. I don't believe that at all. I believe that this has happened, and they finally were able to come to an agreement. Oh, we know that we get one more movie at least produced by Marvel that's a full Spider-Man movie. One more movie that Peter Parker can be in. So they're kind of just doing this one movie at a time. Now, here's the question. Is that they're just doing it one movie at a time? Maybe they're going to do one movie and see how this partnership for this works, because now instead of 50%, Disney is getting 25%. Before they were getting 5% off of the top gross of the movies, and they kept the merchandising rights. They still keep their merchandising rights, but now they get 25% of the total, and they're financing 25% of the movies. So they're getting a whole lot more piece of the pie, but you still have Spider-Man now in the MCU, and Sony will reap the benefits of that.
True.
So I think it's a fair deal for everybody.
Seems like they got a good compromise, better than it was before.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the crazy thing is that's the original deal. That
we've been in those situations before too.
Yeah, so it is what it is, right? That was the original deal put on the table that was rejected, but now we got it. So
sometimes if someone else says it, it sounds more appeasing.
So here's the question though: is it just going to be like we're doing just one movie at a time, or we're just putting this out here to see how this first one works, and then we'll talk long term, or will these be movies which they transition away from us, where the thinking going into this was, you know what? No, this is going to be it. We're only going to do these last two things together.
That'll be interesting.
And we're going to set it up. We're going to set it up for Spider-Man to have a send off, and that'll be it. We're not even going to talk about it anymore. Because it was very abrupt this time, and I think both companies maybe wanted to have a proper send-off. Now, Kevin Feige has come out and he's talked about it, and he made an interesting comment because he said that Spider-Man is very different than any of the other MCU characters because he is able to be a part of different universes, right? So he is part of the MCU, but he's also going to be part of the Venom universe. Which begs the question, are they somehow going to tie that in? Because or is Kevin Feige saying that is going to somehow be a different universe? We know that there's different Spider-Man universes. We got the Spider-Verse. So will Peter Parker somehow be sucked into a different universe for the Venom movie? Or will they say that Venom actually exists in the MCU world? So and he said that the possibilities are endless, is what he said. Is that
if they did the Spider-Verse, they could kind of like the multiverses, you can pull them from wherever
I
you
mean,
need to.
Marvel does own Into the Spider-Verse.
So Spider-Man has the Spider-Verse, and in that, Sony owns all Spider-Man movies. So Sony did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the cartoon. Okay, so all that is, but Sony also owns all the Spider-Man characters, which Venom is a part of. What I'm saying is I think that there could be a live action kind of Spider-Verse thing, because also in the midst of all this, something that was kind of overlooked and a lot of people haven't talked about is they're talking about making a Madam Web movie, which I don't really even know that much about her, but from what I've looked up and what I've heard reported the last couple days since they talked about making this movie is Madam Web is apparently a character that she basically is kind of the keeper of the Spider-Verse. Right? That she is
kind
at
of like what's his name from Thor.
Yeah, that she's kind of like the center of it, and that all the different universes branch off from her. So if they're making her a movie, which she's a lesser known character that a lot of people don't know about, are they saying that maybe Tom Holland, by the time they get him into a Venom movie, maybe the Venom movie that we saw does not take place in the same world that Peter lives in now, in the same universe that Peter lives in now. Maybe it's a different universe, and somehow Tom Holland ends up in that universe and has
Web Lady.
Yeah, through Madam Web, and has to face Venom. And that's maybe what Kevin Feige was saying, that the possibilities are endless. They could be anything.
That's awesome.
So that way, then you don't have to say that Venom exists in the same world as the MCU, because it's a multiverse.
So
it's
Venom can still continue to do his next movie if he'd like to, and then still have his own with Spider-Man and a whole different thing.
Exactly. So there's all kinds of possibilities with this. All I know is this, guys. At the end of the day, after all the speculation, after all the thinking, I mean, we could sit here for 2 hours or more and just talk about the endless possibilities. But the good news is for now, Spider-Man is home. He is back where he belongs in the MCU. He's
not far from home anymore.
That's right.
Home.
He is back where he belongs in the MCU, and in one more MCU movie and in one more movie of his own produced by Marvel. So there you go. So what do you guys think of that? Please let us know down in the comment section. We would love to know what you think. What are some of your favorite Spider-Man moments from the MCU? Tell us down in the comment section.
Your spider senses tingling?
That's right. Tell us down in the comment section, or also make sure to follow us on social media. All those links are in the description below. You can tell us what you guys think. You can share all kinds of cool stuff with us there. Always we're looking for videos to react to and fun things like that, so you can share all that there with us. Also, if you're in a position where you can, please consider becoming a patron of the channel. We're always looking to up our game and to make new, exciting content and fun stuff just for that. So please be a part of that. Also, there's another way you can support the channel, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
And how is that?
Because we are also a place for merch.
That's right. You can get your very own Poindexter Lounge merchandise. You can get a t-shirt, a hoodie, a coffee cup. You can get leggings.
Cell phone covers, blankets, pillows, everything.
That's right. All those descriptions are down below, including our new logo just released just this week, which is, of course, the Empire logo. So it looks like the Empire Strikes Back, but it's the Poindexter Lounge. Make sure to tell everybody that you're a nerd and that you hang out at the Poindexter Lounge with a bunch of other nerds. All right, guys. Well, until next time, my name is Enosh, a.k.a. Enosh Fett, along with the lovely...
Tiptastic.
And, of course...
Landon Calrissian.
Just saying, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, back in the MCU, that Spider-Man was gone for a while, but hey, of course, he's back in the MCU.
Multiverse.
Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man! We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
You're gonna say multiverse.
Good job. Hey guys, if you made it this far in the video, you are awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please smash that like button and of course subscribe, and also hit that notifications bell so that you are aware when we put out new videos, which is like all the time. Thanks for being a part of the Poindexter Lounge, and we'll see you next time.